What is up, guys? Welcome back to another video. In this video, I'm going to show you how to create a sales call questions generator by creating a simple workflow in Anytime. Let's get started. In Anytime, I've created a workflow that I've renamed to sales call questions generator. Here, we're going to add a trigger. Here, I'm going to choose an on-form submission as our trigger. And then here, we're going to add a title, description, and form elements to our trigger. I've gone ahead and added the title, description, and form elements right here. So the title of our form is on the lines of sales call prep questionnaire. The description of our form is on the lines of by answering a few questions about your company, challenges, and goals. We will come prepared with tailored insights, talking points, and discovery questions designed specifically for your business. Then here we're adding various form elements. The field name for the first form element is on the lines of what is your full name. So here we are collecting their full name. Element type, which is in text. And this field will be required. You can also add a placeholder over here. The other field name is on the lines of what is your email address. The element type, which is in email. And this field will also be required. The other field name is on the lines of what is your company name. The element type, which is using text. And this field can also be required. The other field name is on the lines of what is your company website. Element type, which is using text. And this field can also be required. The other field name is we're asking for their location. Element type, which is using text. You can also add a placeholder over here. The other field name is on the lines of how many employees does your company have. Element type, which is using number. Here we're going to input the number of employees of the company. The other field name is on the lines of which industry best describe your business. Element type, we're going to choose a drop-down list, and then here we're adding various options like SaaS, e-commerce, finance, and healthcare. The other field name is on the lines of what's the biggest challenge your company is facing. Element type, which is using text, and you can also add a placeholder over here. The other field name is on the lines of what tools or platforms are you currently using. And then element type, we're choosing a drop-down list, and I'm adding various options over here like CRM tools, marketing tools, or project management tools. You can choose to get more granular with the tools. And the other field name is on the lines of what goal are you hoping to achieve in the next 6 to 12 months. Element type, I'm going to choose a drop-down list. And here we're adding various options like growth, efficiency, or expansion. And the last field name is on the lines of what budget range or investment level are you comfortable with. And the element type, we're choosing number, since we're going to input an estimated number. So here, I'll click on execute to fill out our form. So in our form, we're going to add a client's example information. So here, I'm going to add their full name. I'm going to add my email address, company name, can say my company is Google. Company website, can say google.com. Location, London, UK. How many employees you have? Can say 15. Industry, we're going to choose e-commerce industry. Yes, challenge, can say lead generation, just to pick a random challenge. Platform, marketing tools. The goal is growth. For the budget, you can say 1200. Then here, I'll click on submit. You can see our form was submitted right here. Here, you can see we captured our client's information that we filled in our form. Here we captured their full name, email address, company name, company website, location, and number of employees, industry the business is in, biggest challenge that they're facing, the tools that they're using, the goal for the next 6 to 12 months, budget, and when the form was submitted. So here, I'll click on back to Canvas, and then we're going to pin this data and use this data as we continue to set up our workflow. So here, the next thing that we're going to do here is you can wait for a few seconds. For example, you can wait for 5 seconds. Yeah, I'll rename this to wait 5 seconds. And here I'll click on rename. And the next thing that we're going to do here is we're going to add an if-else node to check if the client filled in their email and the challenge that they're facing, so we can see if we can help them. So here on this node, I'm going to drag the email address here and say that it should exist, and the biggest challenge that they're facing should also exist. So if they fill in, so we'd like to proceed our workflow. So you can see the output is in the true branch. So for the false branch, we like to do nothing. So if they didn't fill out both options, we're going to do nothing. But they fill in the options, we're going to proceed with the workflow. The next thing that we're going to do here is we're going to enrich the client's data that they filled in our form. So to do that here, we're going to use OpenAI. So in AI, I'm going to click on OpenAI, and here I'm going to click on message model. Here, you need to create a credential. Clicking on create a new credential, then from your OpenAI API, add your API key over here, then click on save to create your credential. Since I had already done that, I'm going to close this right here. Then here I'm going to choose a model. We can choose the latest model over here, which is GPT-5 here, which is the latest model that we're using currently. But I'm going to choose GPT 4.1, since it is a little bit faster. And then here, I'll add the prompt for the system role, which could be in the lines of you're a research and sales enablement assistant. Then here, I'm going to add the prompt for the user role. Here, click on expression, then expand it right here to add our prompt for the user role. The prompt could be in the lines of based on the following role company data, enrich it with additional context that would be useful for preparing a personalized sales discovery call. And here we're adding a JSON for the company role company data right here. Then we're telling the AI, please research and infer if possible using common business knowledge and logical assumptions. If you don't know something, leave the field as null. Then here we're telling the AI return the output in a valid JSON with the following structure. And then here we are adding the JSON structure. Here we like to put the company name, website, industry, company size, location, founded year, key decision makers, product or service, target market, recent news or milestones, competitors, tech stack, likely challenges and opportunities for discussion. So here I'll click on back to canvas, and then we're going to output our content as JSON, and then here I'll click on execute step to enrich our client's data. You can see our node was executed successfully. We enriched the client data over here using AI. We're also outputting opportunities for discussion, likely challenges, competitors, and all this relevant information here, like target market, product or service, and this company data right here. This is incredible. So yeah, I'll click on back to canvas, and then I'll rename this node to client data enrichment. Now, after enriching our client data, the next thing that we're going to do here is we're going to set variables to the client data that we just enriched using our node. So here I'll search for the edit fields node, and here we can reach the data, the client's data right here. First thing we can add over here is a name. Say this is the name. Yeah, I'm going to name this the full name. And next thing will be the company name, so I'm going to drag it right here. Then I'm going to name it company name. Also going to drag the company website right here. So we're going to add the industry right here. Company size. Location. So we're going to add the target market right here. We're going to add the competitors. Tech stack over here. Likely challenges over here. And opportunities for discussion. Over here. As tech stack, I'm going to rename this to tools instead of tech stack. I'll click on execute step. You can see our node was executed successfully. Now, with our client data over here, we can proceed to add it to a database. Now, here you can choose tools like Airtable or project management tools like ClickUp or Monday. But I'm going to just use a Google Sheet. So in Google Sheets, I've created a spreadsheet that I've renamed to sales call leads. And here's where we're going to add the client data that they filled in our form. Here we're going to add their full name, company name, website, industry, company size, location, competitors, the tools they're using, challenges they're facing, opportunities for discussion, target market, and the document with the sales call questions right here. So to add the client data over here, I'll search for Google Sheets. Then here I'm going to click on Google Sheets. Then I'll click on Append Row in Sheet. Here, you'll need to create a credential by clicking on Create a New Credential and signing into Google account right here. Then on the new window that pops up, choose the account that you'd like to connect to anytime. And then your credential will be created. Since I had already done that, I'm going to close this right here. And here we're going to choose our document. Our document will be our sales call leads document. And our sheet will be the sales call leads over here. And here we're going to map values to our columns in our spreadsheet with the client data over here. So for the full name, I'm going to map it right here. Same with the company name, company website, industry, company size, location, competitors, tools, challenges, opportunities for discussion, target market, and then now for the sales calls questions, we're going to update this record later on after we've generated the document with the sales calls questions. But for now, I'm going to click on execute step to add our client data to our spreadsheet. You can see our node was executed successfully. Now, when we open our spreadsheet, you can see we added our client data here. We added their full name, company name, website, industry, company size, location, competitors, tools, challenges, opportunities for discussion, target market, and the sales call document link. We're going to add it later on. Yeah, I'll click on back to canvas. We can rename this to client data. And then here I'll click on rename. The next thing we can do here is we can wait a few seconds to generate the sales call questions. So I'll wait, let's say 2 seconds. And then here I'll rename this to wait 2 seconds. And here I'll click on rename. Now here, execute this node. I can proceed now to generate our sales calls questions. To do that, we're going to use an AI agent. So in here, I'm going to click on AI agent. Here, I'm going to define below and add a prompt for the agent right here. The prompt could be in the lines of you're a senior sales strategist. And here, I'll click on add and add a system message. Here, I'll click on expression to add our system message over here. I'm going to clear this. And then the system message could be in the lines of use the think tool internally to reason step by step about the company data, the likely challenges, opportunities, and the industry specific context. Do not expose your internal reasoning or show array or JSONs. After completing your internal thinking, generate the final clean, ready to use call prep document in plain text using this exact structure. And here we're adding the structure. So we are generating a sales call prep for, and then we're adding the company name right here. Then here we'd like to output 2 to 3 sentences summarizing the company's situation, likely challenges and opportunities. Then we'll proceed to generate discovery questions, talking points, and industry-specific questions. And then lastly, we're adding the company data right here as a JSON. So here, I'll click on back to canvas right here. Then here, we're going to add a chart model. I'm going to choose OpenAI as our chart model. Then here, I'm going to choose our credential and the model right here. I'm going to choose to add this right here at the top. I'm also going to add a memory. I'm going to choose a simple memory. Here, I'll define below. Then I'm going to add the dates. This form was submitted right here as a key. And I'll click on back to canvas right here. Drag this to the top. And then lastly, since we're using a think tool, I'm going to add a think tool right here for the AI to use this think tool to generate for us sales call questions right here. So now when I open this node, I'll click on execute step to generate our questions. You can see it's executing our node. Let's give it a second. You can see our node was executed successfully. Here, you can see our output. Here's the title. Here's the call prep summary. Here are the discovery questions, talking points, and then industry-specific questions right here. So to preview our output, we're going to add it to our Google Docs. But first, we can rename this to sales call questions generator right here. So now to add our sales call questions to the Google Docs, here, I'm going to search for Google Docs and click on Google Docs. I'm going to start by creating a document. Here, you'll need to create a credential like we did with other nodes. Here, by adding a client ID and the client secret over here, and click on save. Then on the new window that pops up, choose the account that you'd like to connect to N10. Credential will be created. Since I had already done that, I'm going to close this right here. Then I'm going to find a folder that I would like to store our document in our Google Drive. Then here we're going to give it a title. You can say this is a sales call questions for, and then here we're going to add the company name or the name of the client. You can choose either. Right here. Then here I'll click on execute step to create our document. You can see our document was created with this unique ID. Now I'll click on back to canvas right here. Then I'll rename this to create a sales calls question document. And here I'll click on rename. The next thing that we're going to do here is we're going to add the document with the question. So I'll search for Google Docs. Then I'll click on update the document node. Here we're going to add the ID of the document. So we're going to map it right here. Then we're going to add the questions right here that we generated using our sales call question generator. So I'm going to map it over here. And then here, click on execute step. And you can see we updated our document with the sales call questions that we generated using this AI agent. Here, I renamed this to update the sales call questions document. Then here, I'll click on rename. Now, after updating our document, now when we open our document, here you can see the sales call questions that we generated using our workflow. You can see the call prep summary, the discovery questions, talking points, and industry-specific questions that we generated using our workflow over here. Now we can send our team the documents with the questions for them to prepare for the call. So to do that, yeah, we're going to send the document to our team via Gmail. Or you can use any communication tool that you're using to communicate with your team. But in our case here, I'm going to choose Gmail. Then I'm going to click on Gmail. Then here I'll click on send a message node. I'll rename this node to team notification and click on rename. Then I'll open this node. And then here we're going to add our team's email. And then send them this email with this subject line and this body. Subject line could be on the lines of sales call prep. And then we're adding the name of the client and their company. Email type, I'm going to choose text, and the message could be on the lines of hi team. I've put together a sales call prep document for, and then here we're going to add the client and the company name. The client, this is their name over here. And their company name over here, we're going to map it right here. We can review it here. Then here we're adding the link to the document. So here we're adding this URL, and then in between over here we're adding the unique ID of this document, which is the unique ID of this document that we added of our sales call questions. Then we're telling the team, please take a few minutes to go through it before our call, so we are aligned on the key talking points, discovery questions, and industry-specific context. Let me know if you'd like to add or adjust anything. Press Dennis. Then here, the next thing that I'm going to do here is I'll click on add option. Then on append anything attribution, I'm going to turn this to off. And then I'll click on execute step over here. You can see our node was executed successfully, and we sent our team these. We can also send an email to our client, thanking them for filling in our form and telling them that we look forward to the call with them. So we're going to send, since they submitted the email address right here, we're going to send them an email. So I'll search for Gmail right here, and I'll click on send a message node. So here, I'll rename this node to send a client message. Click on rename, then I'll open this node. Here we're going to add the email address that they submitted via our form. Subject line of this email could be in the lines of looking forward to our call. Email type, I'm going to choose text, and the message could be in the lines of hi name. I just wanted to say that I'm looking forward to our upcoming call with you and the team and then adding the company name right here. I'm excited to learn more about your goals, challenges, and explore how we might support you in achieving them. If there's anything specific you'd like me to prepare ahead of time, please feel free to let me know. Speak soon. Run down here and here. Also going to turn the append anything attribution to off. And then here I'll click on execute step to send the notification, this email to our client. And the last thing that we're going to do here is when I open this node, here I'll copy this link of this document to update it to our client details in our spreadsheet. So to update the sales call questions column in our spreadsheet, here I'll search for Google Sheets. Click on Google Sheets, and then here we're going to update rows in sheet. You're going to find our document, which is this document. The sheet will be this sheet. And then here we're going to add values here in our spreadsheet. I'm going to have the name right here. And then here we'd like to update this column in our spreadsheet. So I'll click on expression right here. Paste our link right here, and then here instead of adding this ID, JSON ID, we're going to add the document ID, map it right here from our documents. Now when I click on execute step, we need to update the column to match on right here. So here's where we're going to add the full name, and then I'll click on execute step. You can see our node was executed successfully, and we updated the client's record with the sales call questions link over here. So this is the link to this document with the sales call questions for this specific client and company right here. So I'll rename this node to the client document in Sheets here. Our workflow is pretty much set up. So here we're filling out a form as a client and capturing their data. Then we're waiting a few seconds, and if the client has filled in their email and the challenges that they're facing, we are proceeding to enrich their client data using this node. Then we're setting the variables of the client data using this node right here. Then we're adding their data to a spreadsheet similar to this one, where we're adding their full name, company website, industry, company size, location, competitors, tools, challenges, opportunities for discussion, the target market right here. Then we're waiting a few seconds. Using this AI agent, we're generating the sales calls questions depending on the client data that we enriched using this node right here. Then after we've generated the sales calls questions, we are creating a document in Google Docs. Then we are updating the document with the sales call questions for the specific client. Then we are sending the sales call questions to our team using this node. We're also sending a client an email thanking them for filling out our form. And then lastly, we're updating the client record with the sales call questions document over here. This is the sales calls question document that we generated using our workflow. We are outputting this call prep summary, discovery questions, talking points, and industry specific questions over here using our workflow that we created right here in Anytime. Now we can try testing our workflow so we can see how it works. To do that, here I'll unpin this data and fill out our form as a client. So to do that, I'll click on execute workflow right here. So here we're going to fill out our full name. I'll choose my name. Email address, I'm going to choose my email address. For the company name, I'm going to choose Labs Automation as a company name. The company website, location can say, location I'm going to choose London. How many employees? I can say 12. The industry, we're in commerce industry. Biggest challenge, randomly I'm going to choose lead generation. Tools can say marketing tools. Should have specified that. Can specify the tools right here. The goal can say growth. The budget we can say 2,500. Then here I'll click on submit. You can see our form was submitted right here. Here you can see that our workflow was executed successfully. So now when I open this node, you can see we successfully captured the client's info that they submitted in our form right here. So we captured their full name, email address, company name, company website, their location, number of employees, industry that their business is in, biggest challenge, tools, or the platform that they use, their goals in the next 6 to 12 months, budget range, and when this form was submitted. Then we wait a few seconds, and if the client submitted their email and the challenges that they're facing, we are going ahead and enriching their client data. Then we are setting the variables of the client data right here, and then adding the client data to our spreadsheet. We added their full name, company name, website, industry, company size, their location, competitors, the tools, challenges, opportunities for discussion, target market, and their sales call questions document right here. And then we wait a few seconds to generate a sales call questions using our AI agent over here. Then we proceeded to create a sales call questions document in Google Docs. Then we updated the document with sales call questions that we generated using this AI agent. And we sent our team an email notification with the link to the document attached to the email, proceeding to send the client a message thanking them for filling out our form and telling them that we're looking forward to our call. And then lastly, we're updating our client record with the sales call questions document that we created in Google Docs. This is a link to the document over here. So now when I open our document, you can see we generated right here a sales call prep for our company name. And here we have our call prep summary that we generated using our workflow. We also generated these discovery questions, talking points, and industry specific questions using our workflow over here. And our inbox, you can see the email that we are sending our team. So here's the subject line, and this is the body of our email. In the email, we are attaching the link to these documents that we created using our workflow and sending it to our team using this email. We're also sending our client this email right here with the subject line and this email body. We are telling them, I just wanted to say that I'm looking forward to our upcoming call with you and your team. I'm excited to learn more about your goals, challenges, and explore how we might support you in achieving them. If there's anything specific you'd like me to prepare ahead of time, please feel free to let me know. Speak soon, Brennan. So this is a client email that we are sending to them via Gmail right here using our workflow that we created right here in Anytime. So our workflow works perfectly. Now, if you'd like me to create this workflow for you or a workflow similar to this one, just click the first link in the description to schedule a call with me. On the call, we're going to discuss into details the workflow that you'd like me to create for you. Then I'll proceed to create the workflow for you. But if you enjoyed this video and you have a workflow or an AI agent that you'd like me to create using Anytime, just comment down below in the comment section. I read all the comments, and if I land on your comment and I find it intriguing, I'll come back on a future video showing you how to create the entire workflow or AI agent from scratch using Anytime. But for now, thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next video. Goodbye.